huge. All done. Ah, look at all the little bits coming out. Each my little bobblehead raccoon. Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be making and designing this adorable little raccoon right here. How cute is it? Oh my god, I love it. I actually just finished making it like maybe 30 minutes ago. So I'm just filming this intro after filming the rest of this video. So yeah, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys what I do to design an amigurumi from start to finish. So it's gonna be my first time ever making this raccoon. And I think it actually turned out so cute. It took a little effort to get to this point, but I'm pretty proud of the outcome. So yeah, that's all I have to say for the intro. So now let's jump right in. Okay, so when making plush amigurumis, I always like to start by making a prototype. Honestly, when making most of my amigurumis, even if it's not with plush yarn, I like to make a prototype, but especially when working with like a plush chenille yarn, I always make a prototype. I find that making a prototype is especially helpful when designing a plush amigurumi because I can't just go right into designing an amigurumi with plush yarn, because if I need to adjust the design, which would require me to frog my stitches and then do it again, a chenille yarn tends to fall apart when you frog your stitches like over and over again, and it just kind of ruins the yarn. That's why I always make a prototype when designing an amigurumi that I know I want to make with plush yarn. So I already have the prototype made for this raccoon that I'm gonna be making in today's video. And this is the prototype right here. So I'm gonna start by showing you the head. This is the little head here. And I started off, I think I started by making the head first. And then I made the body. Oh no, maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't really matter which one I made first, but here's the head, and here is the first body prototype that I made. But as you can see, they don't really go well together. So this was my first attempt. Didn't really like the size of it. The look that I was going for this pattern is I wanted it to look kind of like a bobblehead. I thought that would look really cute. So I wanted the body to be a lot smaller than the head. And obviously this is not giving that. So then I attempted it a second time. And this is the second attempt, and it literally looks the same, but I thought it would look dramatically different, but it didn't. So then I made a lot of changes to the design of the body, and I came up with this little body right here. And oops, let me just, there's no stuffing in the body, so it's kind of hard to show its shape. But yeah, this is the body that I ended up landing on, and I really like the look of it. It looks like a little bobblehead, which is exactly the look that I'm going for. So yeah, this is the prototype. I don't really create the arms or like the ears or the muzzle or whatever, the little parts of the amigurumi, since they're not super complicated to design. So I just kind of normally create the body and the head as a prototype, and then oops, and then I kind of just dive right in. So now that I have this prototype completed, I'm just gonna jump right in and start making this raccoon with the chenille yarn. So I'm going to start crocheting the body. I have to figure out what hook size. I think I would always use a size 4mm hook when working with this plush yarn here. So this is the prototype for the body. So for the raccoon, I'm gonna make his little legs black and then the rest of his body gray. So it's pretty easy, that's why I'm starting off with the body. So I'm gonna start making the legs. I finished the legs and I actually already connected them together. I got a little carried away and I forgot to film that part, but this is what they look like right now. So I'm gonna continue working up the body, and it's pretty straightforward. I'm literally just crocheting in the round over and over again. There's not like too much shaping until I get to the neck part of the body. So yeah, I'm gonna come back once I have completed the whole thing. Okay, it's been like 5-10 minutes and I've worked up 2 more rows since I was on camera last. And since then, I've kind of realized that I don't actually know if I like the length of the legs, how they are right now, so I might actually take out what I have crocheted for the body so far and just take out a row of each leg, I think. So yeah, this is what they look like before I take out my stitches. I really hope this is the right decision because I hate taking out this plush yarn because it's gonna ruin it. This feels so sad. I can literally start to see the fluff coming off. I don't know if you can see on camera, but I can see some of the fluff coming out of the yarn. This just sucks because I only have one ball of dark gray for this raccoon, and if I have to frog my yarn too many times, honestly with plush yarn, if I have to frog it more than one time, the yarn gets to a point where I can't even use it anymore, and I just want to make sure I have enough yarn to complete this project because the whole reason I'm doing a raccoon now is because I didn't want to buy new yarn for the cow, so I don't want to have to buy new yarn for the raccoon. But we'll see, I might end up having to do that if this does not go well. Okay, so I took everything apart and took off one of the rows off of each leg, and I just connected the two legs together just now. And I did realize I can't even film that part on camera because I have to actually take photos of the process of me doing that so that I can include that into my pattern. So yeah, did that part off camera. So now they're just two little nubs. So hopefully this is the right length this time because I can't frog this yarn again. Okay, so it's currently the next day and I've been working on a few different things. But first of all, I finished the body and this is what it looks like. And I think it looks good. I never truly know until all the pieces are together. Until then, I kind of have a lot of moments of doubt about each separate piece. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see until the end to see if this is a good body shape. What I started working on this morning is I started mapping out the color work for the face. So what I did is I used pins to kind of map out where I would crochet each color. So the red pins indicate where I would crochet the black part of the eyes, and then the yellow pins indicate where I would put the white markings. And so I mapped it out here, and then I used some yarn that I didn't really care about to work up the mapping before using the plush yarn. So this is what it looks like. And I did it with this yarn first because I don't want to go right into it with the plush yarn yet, just in case I need to make a few more adjustments. I don't want to have to take out any stitches with the plush yarn. So yeah, and I'm glad I did that because it's looking pretty good, but I do actually want to make a few changes when working it up with the plush yarn. If you look here, the pink yarn is where I'm going to be putting the black spots, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bigger here, and then this section here I'm actually going to do in white because the more I looked at pictures of raccoons, I realized that their nose is white, like all around here. So I'm going to be adding the muzzle later on as a separate piece, but I'm going to do like the back, this part here, white as well. So when I add muzzle, there's no gray parts showing through. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I just want to show you what I did this morning, which is these two things here in order to get ready to do the face, because the face of this raccoon is going to be the trickiest part. And this is why I've put off making a raccoon for so long, because I knew the face would be a little complicated to put together, but I'm glad that I'm doing it now. So now I feel ready to start working up the head with the plush yarn. So I'm gonna start doing that now. And I need to start with the color gray. Okay, so I have my little, I don't know what I would call this, like a little demo or whatever here with me, and I am currently working up the head. This is how much I have done, but I've reached the point, oops, where I need to start, you know, doing the color work part and start doing like this section here. But I'm doing this slightly different, just slightly different than this here, than my, oh, prototype. I guess I would call it a prototype. It's just a small difference though. I'm literally just starting the color work section one row lower than I have it here. And oh yeah, actually more than just one change. I'm also going to be doing this section here a little lower. I'm gonna have it come down a little lower here on both sides. And then this section here, which I have, which is supposed to be the color gray, I'm going to make this section white. And in order to remind myself of these changes, because I don't want to redo the prototype all over again just for those minor changes, I have some markers here where I'm going to literally just color in the stitches that I want to change. Okay, so I'm going to take this black Sharpie marker and color in the stitches that I want to bring down here. So just going to color, oops. I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so I have those ones down. Now I have this other one. And I'm going to use the red one to kind of outline where I want to use white yarn. Okay, so I think I'm going to switch from gray to white right here. And then I'm gonna do it right up against the black. Oh, hopefully I can tell the difference. It's kind of like the marker's looking the same on the stitches. Oh no, that's okay. Just like that. Very rough draft, but hopefully this will kind of give me a visual and make it easier for me to know where to change colors. Now I'm going to start actually changing colors. Now I'm going to start adding my white, and there is zero room for error here because this is the only amount of white that I have. So if I mess up and I ruin any bit of this yarn, I might not have enough for even this raccoon. This small amount here should be enough for the raccoon, but I really can't afford to mess up any of the yarn. Just switching to white here. Okay, so I finished my first row of color changes here, and the method that I'm using for my color work is where I literally just cut the yarn after each color change. And I know there are more convenient ways of doing this, but I just don't have an easy time with them, and I honestly just kind of prefer this. I know it does kind of suck having to tie all the knots at the end, but I don't really mind doing that, so I just do it this way. Okay, so this is how much I have done, and I just wanted to show you what all my loose ends look like. I have not tied any of them up yet, but I'm going to tie the knots now before continuing with the rest of the color work. Okay, so I'm almost done the head of the raccoon, and I think it's looking really nice so far. I'm really proud of it. Now I have to tie all my ends. I've already tied half of them earlier, but now I have the second half to tie, and look at all these ends. And I know there's a more convenient way to change colors when doing it this way, but this is just the way that I prefer to do it. I know there's like a way where you can hold one color of the yarn behind the stitches as you crochet like around that color, but I don't like to do it that way when making stuffed animals because sometimes I can see like the other color showing up behind my stitches, and I personally don't love when that happens. So yeah, I choose to change my colors this way, leaving a bunch of ends like this. Yeah, I don't really mind tying them up or whatever. It's not too bad. It's not like I have to weave them in. If I had to weave in the ends, I would not do it this way. But since it's an amigurumi, I can just tie a knot and then just cut it pretty short and leave it, because no one's gonna see the inside of the head. Oops, forgot to cut these. So yeah, since no one's gonna see the inside of the amigurumi, I don't have to weave in my ends. So that's why I don't really mind doing it this way, since all I have to do is tie knots. I will show you guys up close here. So here are two ends that need to be tied together. So I literally just tie a regular knot. And then I take my scissors, cut them about this length. There we go. And now I just do that over and over again until all these long ends are tied up and cut short. Okay, so I have one side done, all these short little pieces that I cut here, and then I still have this one side left to do. You can see the difference between both sides. Okay, I am all done. Ah, look at all the little bits coming off. I literally just vacuumed my room like an hour ago, and now I have all these little bits on the ground, so I'm gonna have to vacuum a second time. I'm just gonna show you guys all my little bits here because it's kind of satisfying. All my little bits. So now that I have all the ends tied and cut nice and short, I'm just gonna turn it right side out, and now I'm just going to crochet a few more rows, and then I'm gonna start adding the stuffing. Okay, so I just finished crocheting a few more rows, and I have a like medium-sized hole at the bottom here. So now I'm just going to add some stuffing before I finish crocheting the last few rows. So I have my little bin of stuffing here, so I'm just going to put that here. Take some stuffing and just stuff it into the little hole here. Okay, so now that the head is stuffed, I'm now going to crochet the last few rows of the head, and then I will probably add just a little bit more stuffing right at the end. Okay, so I have gotten a lot done for my raccoon amigurumi. Oh gosh, I don't remember where I left off last, but I did finish the head. Just have to cut this random piece of yarn here that I weaved in, but yeah, this is what the head's looking like. It is, I'm actually really proud of myself for doing this. It worked out really well. But yeah, if you look closely, you can kind of see that it's like not like perfectly even on both sides, and that's because when you're working it around, all of like the stitches shift. And yeah, I realize that now, but at first I was like, why the heck are like the colors kind of uneven, even though I did the exact same thing on both sides? And yeah, it's because in a spiral, the stitches shifted. Yeah, and then I designed the body, and then I worked up the body, and the little prototype, I don't have it on me right now, but the little blue prototype body shape that I had in the beginning, I worked up the exact same thing with the plush yarn, but I wasn't, like it wasn't bad, I felt like that there was something missing with the body. And this is what it looks like when paired with the head, and I mean, it does give a bobblehead kind of look, but I think the body's slightly too small. I just want it to be slightly bigger. And so I attempted to make the body a second time around, and I just made it slightly bigger this time. And I am really happy with the results this time. So this is what it looks like. So cute. It's definitely a little bobblehead. Oh my goodness, it's so silly looking. Okay, and then I also designed the ears. I was a little stumped on the ears at first because I didn't know how I should make them. Normally if I have to make like a pointy ear like that, I work in the round, and I just kind of make a more like less increases, and just so it can kind of like start like create like a point and then work this way. I don't know if I explained that well, but a raccoon's ear has, it's gray, and then it has like a white little outline on the outside of the ear. And I was trying to figure out how to do that with crochet, and I ended up figuring it out, thankfully, and I'm actually really happy with the ears. This is what the ears look like. I think they turned out so good, and I feel like the proportions are good when I hold it up against the head. So this is what it looks like. Oh my god, it's gonna look so cute. Yeah, so this is what the ear looks like. Yeah, I'm actually so proud of this little raccoon. I haven't designed a plush amigurumi in a while now, so I'm just like extra happy with how this is turning out. Because I always tend to second guess myself during the designing process. So yeah, I'm really happy. So next I have to, well, I still have to design the arms and the muzzle, but to be honest, I kind of just want to start connecting the pieces together first, and then I will design the arms and the muzzle afterwards. Oh, and the tail. I have to design the tail. But those are all things that I can design afterwards because I don't think they're going to be super complicated. I just want to sew the head onto the body and just get that over with because I hate assembling the pieces together. So yeah. If I don't just do it now and get it over with, then I feel like I'm going to continue putting it off, and then it's going to take me forever to complete this raccoon. Okay, so I'm about to get started on my least favorite part of making amigurumis with a body that's separate than the head, which is sewing the head and body together. Just because it normally takes me a few tries because I want the head to be facing perfectly forward and not to be tilted a little bit more to one side. And it definitely takes me a few tries to get it right. If anybody has any like better ways of doing this, please let me know in the comments. I am open to suggestions. I would actually love your suggestions because I really do dread this part because of how many times I have to redo it, but yeah. Okay, so what I do is I center it, and then I kind of just line up one of the rows of the head with the top of the body, and then I just kind of dive right in and start sewing it on, and then if it's crooked, I just readjust it. So something pretty great is happening right now. This is currently my first attempt at sewing the body onto the head, and so far everything is working out. The head isn't crooked, and everything's just lining up properly, but fingers crossed that it actually works out once I'm completely finished sewing all the way around, because I have not yet finished sewing the head onto the body. So yeah, but so far it's actually looking pretty good. I don't want to jinx it though. But normally it takes me so many like tries to get it right, and I managed to make it work on the first try, I think. I don't know. You never really know until you're like done sewing it completely on. I mean, it could still not work out, but I don't know. It's looking pretty good. I have high hopes at the moment. So it worked out. I'm so happy right now. It looks so cute. Look at it. It's my little bobblehead raccoon. It's so cute. Also, don't mind my voice. I'm realizing that as the day goes by, I'm sounding more and more sick because I tested positive for COVID this morning, and I feel fine. I sound like I'm not fine. But yeah, in case you were wondering, I am sick right now, but I'm okay. Anyways, I am so happy about this raccoon. So now I'm going to design the arms, which is going to be really easy because it's literally just, you know, a little tube. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I sound so sick. I just grabbed my gray yarn and my black yarn, and I'm noticing that I'm running out of my gray yarn, and I'm really just hoping that I have enough gray yarn for the arms and then the tail as well that I still have to make. I might have some more gray yarn stashed in my closet, but it's kind of chaotic in there, so I haven't checked yet. Okay, I finished making all of the pieces for the raccoon. So yeah, I finished making the little arms, and I think I already showed you, but I finished making the ears, and then I finished making the little muzzle, and then I finished making the tail. So this is what the tail looks like. This ended up being my second attempt at making the tail, and this was my first attempt here. I wanted to make like a big chubby tail, so this is my little raccoon. I was thinking like a big chubby tail would be really cute, but I feel like this one's a little too big. It just looks so lumpy. So then I made this second tail here, and this is the one
I decided on, and I think this is like the perfect size for the tail. It took a couple tries to get it just right, but yeah, I think it's perfect now. So now that I finished making all of the pieces for the raccoon, I have to start sewing them on, which is my least favorite part. Also, I wanted to point out that I kind of messed up with the head of the raccoon. I forgot to add the safety eyes while the opening at the bottom of the head was still open. So once I finished making the head, I stuffed it and then I sewed the bottom closed, and then that's when I realized that I didn't add the eyes yet. So yeah, that's because lately when I've been making amigurumis, I've been making really, really tiny ones, and with the tiny ones I add the eyes afterwards. So I've just been used to doing that, so that's what I ended up doing with the raccoon here. But I actually wanted to add safety eyes, but yeah, I think I'm gonna add the safety eyes, but just without the backings. I'm just gonna glue them on, and hopefully that looks okay. Anyways, I'm going to sew all the pieces onto the raccoon off camera because I don't think it's gonna be that fun to see, and it's gonna take me forever to do, so I'm gonna, yeah, do that off camera, and then I'll come back once all the pieces have been sewn onto my raccoon. I just finished putting together the raccoon, and it's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a close-up. It's so cute, and this is this little tail. I love it so much. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. So I don't think I ever actually mentioned what yarn I used for making this raccoon, and I used Himalaya Dolphin Baby yarn. And I just recently realized yesterday that this yarn is not my favorite chenille yarn. It's the only chenille yarn that I've ever used up until yesterday. I always just thought that all chenille yarns were the same, so I never really bothered to try any other kinds that were out there on the market. But yesterday I tried the Honey Bunny yarn from Hobbii, which is a chenille yarn, and it is so amazing. It is so soft. It works up so nicely, and in my opinion it works up so much better than the Dolphin Baby yarn that I used for making this raccoon. And now I just want to buy a bunch of Honey Bunny yarn from Hobbii, and I actually did yesterday. I put in an order, so I will be receiving more colors of the Honey Bunny yarn hopefully soon. And I quickly want to show you what I crocheted yesterday with the Honey Bunny yarn. This is what it is. It's very random. It's a pattern that I'm currently working on, but yeah, this yarn is amazing. The way that my stitches look with this yarn is so much better, and it is so soft, and it doesn't fall apart. It does not fall apart, which is amazing. So going forward, I'm gonna be using different kind of chenille yarns because I'm realizing the Dolphin Baby yarn is not great. It falls apart so much. Like, I'll show you. This is what happens when I have to assemble all the pieces of my amigurumi. All the little bits kind of, I don't know if you can see, but the yarn just falls apart, and it is so hard to sew all the pieces together because this happens just after a few times of like weaving the yarn through my amigurumi. So yeah, I thought this was normal. I thought that all chenille yarn did this until I tried the Honey Bunny yarn yesterday and realized that that is not the case. So I am going to switch over to the Honey Bunny yarn from now on. There's also a few other chenille yarns I want to try as well, but the Honey Bunny yarn is just the most convenient for me to use because I like ordering from Hobbii. Their shipping isn't that expensive and it arrives pretty quickly. I just can't believe I've never used any other kinds of chenille yarn until now, because the amount of struggle that I have gone through from using the Dolphin Baby yarn is kind of ridiculous. Like, it kind of put me off from making any kind of plush amigurumis for a while there because it's just such a pain when the yarn falls apart so much when using it. But this raccoon did turn out so well. I'm really happy with the final results. I do want to try making another raccoon with like the Honey Bunny yarn eventually, but I probably won't do that for a while because I kind of want to make something new now that I've just finished making the raccoon. Anyways, that's all I got for this video, so I'm gonna end it here, but I do want to quickly mention that the pattern for this raccoon will be up on my Etsy store hopefully sometime soon. I still have to write it and then do some tests for it to make sure everything works properly, but hopefully I will have it ready soon. I just gotta get onto it and do it. Anyways, I'm gonna go now, but thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next video, so bye!